Hey guys, this is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. Thanks for tuning in, back with another video a day till this channel hits 100K. Wanted to make an update video here on the Peragon Tectonic tonneau cover. Being that it's got a few months on it here, I figured why not make an update video. I'm here in Phoenix. This thing gets a boatload of sun, and I've learned some things I really like about it, some things I don't. Anytime I see somebody drop a comment when they see these very expensive tonneau covers and they say, $2,400 for a tonneau cover, are you insane? I sort of understand, but it all depends on what it is you have stored in your truck. There are guys who haul around tens of thousands of dollars worth of tools. I myself at times can have multiple thousands of dollars worth of camera gear. I've hauled around rifles and firearms, all of those kinds of things where $2,400 for an ultra secure cover is a cheap insurance policy. If that's you dropping a comment that this is too expensive for a tonneau cover, you probably don't need it, but there are plenty of people out there who do, and this is a cover that I would recommend to those people. But it is not perfect. My favorite cover prior to having this one, and I'm not entirely sure which one is my favorite over the other because they're very different, but the BAK X4ts has by far been probably my favorite in terms of looks cover. But the problem with those kinds of covers is that they are susceptible to theft. A lot of covers, if not the overwhelming majority of them, have a flaw where if you get a coat hanger up underneath it, you can actually pull the latch release and just lift it up. That's where this cover is lockable. It does have a latch, which theoretically could be pushed in. This safety latch is actually longer than the little block that they have here. If they would extend this out even just another inch, that would be much better, because right now if you got like a coat hanger in there, you could push that back. But this is a safety latch in case somebody were to get stuck in the bed of the truck. They would have the ability to basically get themselves out, and it's a lot harder to get in here to get that latch. So this is by far a more secure cover with still a potential that if somebody were to get in there and push it in, they theoretically could pop that latch even if it were locked, but it would be a much harder thing to do. There are some components here that were 3D printed for the price point. I wish these were an aluminum. They're not a critical component by no means, but they are a bump stop so that when you open it and they sit on each other, it's not marring up the actual surface. Maybe a little nitpicky, but I'm not entirely sure how well that 3D printed plastic will hold up over time. And it just doesn't seem like it fits all that well. I can already tell you, in 2 months of sitting in the sun, my truck is parked in the sun all the time. They're starting to already look a little bit sun faded. And then you have all of this really, really nice, high quality, I think this is a machined stainless steel or an aluminum, I don't know what this product is, but the rest of it is very high quality metals. So that just seems a little bit cheap to me. Now, the other part that I don't totally love is one of the benefits of this cover is that it is easily, quote, easily removable. But they have these little tiny set screws in here. In order to remove it, you would have to undo those set screws, and they're kind of a giant pain. They did tell me that they are going to have a quick detach system at some point coming out for this, that they would send it to me when they had it. They didn't, at least it's not out yet that I'm aware of. So that's kind of tough, because I love the fact that if you want to, you theoretically could open this up, and if you could remove those easily, you could pull each one of these pieces off super easy and regain all access to your bed. The next thing that I don't totally love, and this is just every tonneau cover suffers from this for the most part, but I wish somebody could figure out a way to engineer this out. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, this looks like it's starting to sun fade out a little bit too, this little latch. So again, 2 months in the sun here in Phoenix. That's pretty much going to show you where these weak points might be. Again, I see a little bit of sun fading there, but the real bummer, if we open this thing up, actually, this is something I love. When you open this thing up, one of the coolest features of this is that you can move it back and forth, but this latch is so hot. I just pulled out my infrared thermometer. It is 135 degrees. So to push this thing back, you either have to carry gloves on you or do this where you just kind of keep pushing little bits and pieces as you get it to go, to get it to actually go up there, because it's like literally burning your hand as it's going on. Maybe they can cover this in some of this bedline material, or even better, like some type of foam. I was actually just on my tripod here. My tripod, super hot because it's been in the sun, but there's a little bit of foam here, and that little foam is much nicer to grab than the metal itself. Again, for the price point, I'm getting really critical with this because of how much they charge for it. But it does, if you can hold this long enough, it does roll really easy and allow you to reconfigure it. So I guess that's my only real nitpicks for this thing. So we'll put this back, home it. And that's part of the problem, is that when you keep letting go of it, when you move it, it starts dragging, and I'm afraid over time that by doing that, it's gonna actually scrape up that nice powder coat finish. This, however, you know, in terms of like an overall tonneau cover, that's where all of my dislikes end. This thing is a tank. I've got to say, really, really love it. There was an issue that I had where this logo they put on here from the factory was askew, so I actually pulled it off. They did send me a new logo. I put it back on there. Is it perfect? No. Is it close to perfect? It might be the most perfect cover that I've ever owned. And then, of course, in terms of durability, the fact that you can actually get up on top of this thing and stand on it is pretty incredible. This thing is rated to haul 400 pounds on top of it while in motion, or while stationary, 600 pounds. Now, one accessory that I would love to see with this setup, that the fact that it can carry this kind of weight, is some sort of rails or a way to toss a rooftop tent on top of this cover. I started looking at this going like, how could I figure out a way to mount a rooftop tent on here without scratching this whole thing up? I don't totally know, but it would be really nice to see them come out with an accessory of some sort to be able to actually tie something like that down here. Now, I could just take some 4x4s and lay them across here and probably figure out a way to strap down the tent to the tie downs on the side, but I don't know if that's ideal. I'm not entirely sure. It's something I've been thinking about like, how could I do that? Because for me, a permanently mounted rooftop tent is a little obnoxious for my daily driver, but to be able to throw one on here and go camping for the weekend would be pretty cool. So again, Paragon did send this out to me. I do not have any affiliate links. As I'm recording this video now, I don't have any reason to sell you guys a Paragon cover. I have done a ton of review videos on tonneau covers for years on this channel, and have become a bit of a, I don't know, I guess tonneau covers have become part of like what I do on this channel. I do a lot of water testing. This cover performed very well in those water tests. And I just like to check out new equipment, especially when it comes to tonneau covers. I've just tested a bunch. And I think, again, in terms of favorites, the BAK X4ts is by far my favorite in terms of best looking, pretty secure. But if you want to go to like the top of the security line right now, Paragon, this Tectonic, it's probably the best cover that I have tested over the years. There's another cover I think I have coming shortly that might rival this in terms of looking nicer, and when I say nicer, less industrial. For me, this look does fit the truck that I've built out now in terms of like its rugged industrial look, but not everybody wants to have something that is this over the top. And that's where I think the BAK X4ts comes in, or maybe the next cover that I'll probably review on this channel that should be coming shortly might be a little toned down from what this is. But all in, love this cover. It's been great. So again, just wanted to drop out a little update video here. With that said, thank you guys very much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, please hit that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel. I will see you guys next time.